日本人ではないよ。バカでもないよ。毎月何回も日本語式ラララ。Excited to do Japanese yet? No? Oh, that always works on my students. So as you can see, today's lesson is going to be about both likes and dislikes. We're going to cover the casual form of it, the polite form of it, and we're even stepping things up and using the question form of it. So we've sort of got a lot of ground to cover here. Also, for today's, I'm going to attempt doing similar to arcane static and just writing things on the chalkboard so that I don't have to go in and do everything in post-production. If you prefer the post-production way where everything gets superimposed in, just like leave a comment and let me know, or if you like this way better, let me know that too, because I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do this. So, first off, on the like side, we have two different ways to say that you like something, and they are used for two different types of things. The first one here is nani nani ni kyoumi ga arimasu. This one specifically means I have an interest in something. You use this one for something that's more of a hobby or something that you research. You know, the sort of thing that you'd go home and actively look up on Wikipedia because you're so interested in it. You don't really use this one to say, like, I have an interest in strawberries, unless you're like a strawberry farmer or something and you're really into strawberries, like you're gonna go home, start a strawberry farm or something. For example, you'd use this to say, I have an interest in math, I have an interest in history. I use it to say, I have an interest in circus, because I do more than just watch Cirque du Soleil. I'm actively a circus acrobat and, you know, do stuff like that. So I use kyoumi ni arimasu, or kyoumi ga arimasu. So, in the casual, the first one is nani nani ni kyoumi ga aru. I'll break down the meaning. This nani nani is the Japanese way of saying that there's like a blank in the sentence. We use a lot in teaching. So like if it's a thing, you say nani nani, and if it's a where, you say doko doko. If it's a who, you say dare dare. It's sort of like a way of saying whatever. Something something, whoever whoever, wherever wherever. So this ni is a particle. Don't worry about that right now. Kyomi is the word for interest. It's a noun by itself. This ga, again, a particle, don't worry about it. And this aru is one of basically the three basic Japanese verbs. This one means to have, both in the sense of like, I have flower sticks, and like, I have as more of a conceptual idea as well. So yeah, in the casual, nani nani ni kyoumi ga aru. Nani nani ni kyoumi ga aru. Nani nani ni kyoumi ga aru. In the polite way, not necessarily the formal, but polite, you just change this aru to arimasu. That's how you, like, aru is what we call the dictionary form of a verb, and arimasu is what we call the polite. This is the present polite form. This is the present simple, for those of you that are much more grammar-minded. So to say it in the polite, nani nani ni kyoumi ga arimasu. Nani nani ni kyoumi ga arimasu. Okay, the second way of saying that I like something is to say nani nani ga suki da, in the casual at least. So this just straight up means I like something. This can be used for anything. You can use it to say I like math, I like circus, I like history, to express a basic sort of like. You can use it for food, like if you want to say I like strawberries, this is the one you'd use. This is your most basic form of like. You'll use it a lot. In the casual, we've got nani nani ga suki is the word for to like something. This kanji here, su, or read as su by itself, the left radical is woman and the right radical is kid. So it was forwarded to us like, oh, what are things that people like? Women and children, ha ha ha. So we have the kanji for like. This da is the, like, plain dictionary form of another basic Japanese verb, which is desu. There's three basic Japanese verbs. There's aru, which is to have an object or an idea. There's iru, which is to have an animate object, an animal, a person, something like that. And then there's desu, which is the basic verb for it is. That's why you hear desu all the time at endings, because to make something a verb, you can basically just take any noun and stick desu on it, or shimasu. Suru is the other basic verb. But yeah, you can basically make most things verb-like with both suru and desu. So, breaking this one down to say it, nani nani ga suki da. Nani nani ga suki da. Nani nani ga suki da. You'll notice that this is written suki, but when you say it really, really fast like that, it tends to it takes on more of that su. I mean, you don't want to go full su on it, but it does sort of blend. So, suki desu. Moving on then to the polite speech, just change this da to desu. Nani nani ga suki desu. Nani nani ga suki desu. Now, moving over to the dislike side, we have the same two concepts to cover. We are just changing their verb to make them negative. So this first one, I don't have an interest in something. Nani nani ni kyoumi ga nai. You'd use this one whenever I say, oh, I have an interest in the circus. Sakasu ni kyoumi ga arimasu. They'd say, sakasu ni kyoumi ga arimasen ne. You're kind of a freak. Or if someone is asking you, don't you like this subject? I don't really have an interest in it. So, you'll notice it's largely the same thing. We've only changed the aru from before into nai. And just as aru is our dictionary form, simple perfect tense, we've got the dictionary form of the simple present negative, which is nai. You'll also notice that in the formal, we changed arimasu to arimasen. And that's a basic way you can make the polite form negative, is to change this masu to masen. Again, simple present negative. So, breaking this one down, nani nani ni kyoumi ga nai. Nani nani ni kyoumi ga nai. Or in the formal, nani nani ni kyoumi ga arimasen. So, for our second one down here, I don't like strawberries, or whatever. We've got nani nani ga suki janai. And then nani nani ga suki janai desu. So, this da and desu are still the same thing. So, da in the pure negative is janai. This is the present simple negative. This is the casual form to just say janai. So, nani nani ga suki janai. And then if we want to make that more polite, you simply add that desu back in. For more specific usage on when to add desu and suru and things like that, we'll cover that later. Just for now, bear with it. Everyone goes through this when they start learning Japanese, is it takes a little bit before you start to understand how verbs actually work. But yeah, breaking it down. Nani nani ga suki janai. Nani nani ga suki janai. And now, nearing the end, we're almost done, and you're gonna like this part because it's really easy. This is how to make the question form of anything, of just about any sentence. Done. You add ka at the end, and that ka is our particle for making a question. It's the question particle. So the only thing you do is you'll then kind of lilt the end of your sentence up, like we do in English to make a question. So in this case, nani nani ni kyoumi ga aru becomes nani nani ni kyoumi ga aru ka? Or nani nani ni kyoumi ga arimasu ka? There, boom, it's a question. And you'd respond to it with either hai or ie, yes and no, or you could just straight up repeat the sentence almost and be like, hai, sakasu ni kyoumi ga. So do you feel like you're in school again with that going on? So anyway, you simply add ka, and even in the negative, still works the same. Of course, the negative side has the added sort of thing where, like, you can use it like, you know, in English we've got that whole like, oh, it's hot today, isn't it? Where, you know, you're not making an actual negative, you're asking them to confirm. We've got the same thing with janai ka, where it does the same thing, but just ignore it. In the case of using the question form, the negative, it can also just straight up mean like, what, you don't have an interest in it? You know, like, if I were to say I don't have an interest in math to the math teacher, they could respond with like, oh, sansuru kyomi ga nai ka? You know, oh, that's kind of sad. Same thing with like strawberries. You could, you know, ichigo ga tsuki janai ka? That's weird. But yeah, that's pretty much it for expressing likes and dislikes. You've got two basic ways to do it. You can do it in the positive and the negative, and you can do it casually and politely. So, as always, if you've got any comments about, you know, other lessons you'd like taught, or if you want to make a suggestion about how I go about teaching these, because while I'm a good teacher in real life, I'm still getting the hang of internet teaching. It's certainly an entirely different beast. So please just let me know in the comments below. Alright, until then, mata ne!